Alzheimer's is the result of at least 1 decade of cumulative damage to the brain, so changing nutrition alone is not going to be enough. However, and here's a secret that most medical providers don't know or won't tell you, if you don't change your diet or the way you eat, you can forget about getting better from Alzheimer's. That's right, and that's the hard truth. Getting better requires you to permanently change your diet and the way you eat. So, why is nutrition one of the most profound ways to impact health? Well, there are three reasons. Firstly, your gut is filled with microbes, some of which aren't that friendly. The more unhealthy you are, the more bad microbes you have. Just like you and me, when we eat and drink, we pee and poop. So the bad microbes will make metabolites just by living and feeding. And their metabolites, which are toxic, get absorbed into your blood where they get to your brain and the rest of your body. So eating the wrong foods at the wrong time will help these bad microbes survive and multiply. And now you have a fresh source of new toxins that go up and damage your brain 24/7. Secondly, in my clinical experience, most people with chronic illness and pretty much all of Alzheimer folks have some form of nutrient deficiency. You get more intel on what these deficiencies are when you look at your lab test results. But bear in mind that nutrients are cofactors that are required for your body to fight infection, inactivate and remove toxins, optimize cellular functions, and all of the important things that your body needs to do to survive and thrive. When you're sick, your body needs more nutrients than a healthy person because it has greater needs. And that's why most chronically ill folks have nutrient deficiencies. Lastly, always remember that food is medicine. It may not be all the medicine that you need, but it is medicine if you know how to take it correctly. You may not end up doing any of the treatments at all, but you always need to eat and drink. So why not make what you eat and drink something that helps you get better? Okay, now that we've established the importance of diet and nutrition, I want to make sure that you understand that this is going to be a lifestyle change that you commit to. When we think about nutrition, most people think about dieting. But we all know that diet is something you do in the short term, and that's why dieting never works. What I want you to understand is that we're looking for a transformation of you. We're talking about changing not just the foods you eat, but also when and how you eat. And if that sounds like a major change in how you're going to live your life, it is. So here's the hard truth. If how you live your life was so good for you, how did you end up with Alzheimer's? If you know that how you're living your life isn't so good for you, why would you still hold on to it? When you know how wonderful the rest of your life can actually be, wouldn't you want that to start immediately? I know it's not easy to make changes to something as profound as eating because you know your routine is comfortable to stay where you are. But I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. For this lesson, we'll first review the official diet recommendations of the Bredesen Protocol, and then I'm going to show you that it's not actually suitable for everyone because every person is different. So if you're someone who needs something different, you'll also learn how to modify this diet to customize it for your specific condition. And to help you navigate this section, you'll find a wealth of information in your module handout. I've included information on the official dietary recommendations of the protocol and another handout on how to modify the diet depending on your condition. All right. So the official recommendation of the Bredesen Protocol is the KetoFlex 12-3 diet. This is basically a plant-rich, high-fat, intermediate protein, low carbohydrate meal plan that has a lot of clinical trials demonstrating its benefits, especially when combined with intermittent fasting. What does 12-3 mean? Well, 12 refers to 12 hours of intermittent fasting. That means a minimum 12-hour window of no food or drink other than water every day. An example would be finishing dinner by 8 p.m., and you don't eat or drink anything except water after that until 8 in the morning. It's actually not hard because you should be sleeping most of that time. And if you feel that you need something to eat or drink before sleeping, I want you to know that this diet is designed precisely to stop you from doing that. Because that's actually bad for your health, and that actually worsens the quality of your sleep. 3 refers to at least 3 hours of no food or drink other than water before bedtime. So if you usually go to bed at 11 p.m., that means you need to have finished dinner before 8 p.m. There are some modifications within the official recommendations. For example, if you have one or more copies of the ApoE4 gene, you need 16 hours of intermittent fasting instead of 12. And if you're underweight with a BMI below 18 to 19, you won't do any intermittent fasting. Don't worry, all of these rules are in your module handout. All right, so when do you not jump right into the official diet recommendations? If any of these apply to you, I recommend that you do an intermediate diet first before going into the KetoFlex diet. 1, if you have one or more copies of the ApoE4 gene. 2, if you're currently eating a diet that's high in refined carbs like pizza, burgers, fries, sandwiches, noodles, and tortillas. 3, if you have frequent gastrointestinal symptoms like bloating, heartburn, abdominal pain with food, constipation, or diarrhea. If you have conditions associated with liver impairment like high cholesterol, alcoholic or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or liver cirrhosis, or you've had your gallbladder removed. And if you have periodontal disease or oral infections. Okay, let's go through these scenarios in more detail. If you have one or more copies of the ApoE4 gene, studies have shown that your body is really good at converting dietary cholesterol into blood lipids. So a high-fat diet is actually not suitable for you, and you'll do much better with a lower to moderate fat diet with lots of plants and intermediate protein levels. Now, if you tick any of the other 4 boxes, for instance, you're currently on a high-carb diet, or you have gastrointestinal symptoms, or liver problems, or periodontal disease, it's much better for you to first transition to a clean diet that cuts out refined carbs and eliminates inflammatory foods rather than go straight to a high-fat diet. The reason is it's very likely that you have an overgrowth of gut microbes, specifically gram-negative bacteria. In naturopathic medicine, we call this gut dysbiosis. Gram-negative bacteria have something called lipopolysaccharide, or LPS, in their cell walls, which is fat-soluble. So a high-fat diet will dissolve a lot of the LPS, which will then get absorbed into your bloodstream. And LPS is something that the human immune system views extremely dangerous. So when there's a lot of LPS in the body, this signals your immune cells that there's a massive bacterial invader, so you should prepare for war. And that's how your body becomes very inflamed. This process is called endotoxemia. Studies have shown that in people with gut dysbiosis, a high-fat diet can cause liver inflammation and lead to insulin resistance, obesity, and high levels of beta amyloid deposition, and clearly that's something you don't want. And so what do we do if you're one of these folks who should not adopt the KetoFlex diet up front? For my patients who tick one of these boxes, I typically have them adopt a transition diet like the Whole30, Mediterranean, or Paleo diet while treating the gut to reduce the dysbiosis. This will still require you to cut out all refined carbohydrates, but you're not going to go into ketosis like with the KetoFlex diet. Once the gut microbiome is more balanced, then you can adopt the ketogenic diet without problems. I will be covering how to treat your gut later in the course, so stay tuned. Okay, I know I've given you a lot of information, and I want to assure you that it's totally normal to feel confused about whether you should adopt the Bredesen diet right off the bat or opt for a transition diet first. So here's something to help you out. In the module handout, there's a link called Should I Adopt the Bredesen Diet or Opt for a Transition Diet First? Go ahead and click on that link. It'll take you to an online questionnaire where you can click through a bunch of questions and spit out an answer to whether you could benefit from a transition diet or go straight to the KetoFlex diet.
This was an excerpt from our Masterclass Ending Alzheimer's with the Bredesen Protocol. If you liked this video and found it helpful, you'll want to check out this masterclass at our Sophus online website. Click below to find out more.